Hey there YouTube, welcome to Draco Ray Gaming. I'm going to share my streaming settings secrets with you today. Also show you how to automatically record when you go live. Highly recommend recording when you go live. You get a much crisper, cleaner, fuller, higher density file. Yes, the size is a little bit bigger, but it's if your PC can handle it, it'll work great. I'm going to give you the settings for dual PC as well as single PC streaming. As usual, no BS, no fluff. Here we go. Alright, here we are inside the streaming PC. You're gonna have to apologize. I need to look this way so I can look at my streaming PC monitor. What you want to do is go to the bottom left hand side with your streaming settings there, the little gear icon, whether it's in OBS Studio or Streamlabs. We're gonna go to our output settings. General settings, actually, let's go through those real quick as well. So something in here that I wanted to talk to you about initially was the automatically record when streaming. Now you can set or not set this. For my current setup, I highly recommend setting it, especially if you're running dual PC. Your secondary PC should be able to handle it depending on the specs. But this, you'll get a much crisper, cleaner video file to edit and work with for your content if you actually set this. Actually, and what else? Snapping. If you have issues dragging things around in here and they start snapping to each other where you don't want them or you can't quite get something lined up within the display software, you're going to want to go ahead and uncheck the source snapping and get rid of that. That can mess with you quite a bit, especially when you're trying to line things up just perfectly. Obviously, you log into your stream account and or settings for that, your login information. Audio I haven't touched too much, but for the actual output, we're gonna go one audio track is what I'm running with a 264 encoder. I have a higher end CPU in my streaming rig than I do the graphics card, so I'm utilizing the CPU software, which you can get a little bit better clarity out of, in my opinion, with that. I'm using a CBR rate control, 8000 bit rate, 2 keyframe interval on very fast with none. And that's it. Audio, I'm pretty much running standard 44.1 kilohertz in stereo mode. Video, so I'm actually running a 1920 by 1080 with a 60 FPS in bicubic sampling. Now, what you can do, now these are locked right now, but what you can do if you're running single PC, I highly recommend 1920 by 1080 by 720p, and then enhancing the downscale filter to make it look as crisp as possible. Max out on 32 samples and run 30 FPS if you're running single PC, and you can get a nice high quality looking stream without sacrificing a ton of horsepower while you're playing your game, especially if you're using the NVIDIA encoder over the 264 encoder. Now these are new settings for 2022 that I hope help you out. Let's keep on going here. Obviously you can set up some hotkeys and etc, whatever. Your process priority you can actually set within the software rather than within Windows, but you can also set that within Windows as well. I go ahead and set my process priority to high. Now you can set this if you go into your task manager. You actually find the software itself. We're going to scroll down to Streamlabs. Now, if you find the main application of Streamlabs, you can actually go into your priority and set it in real-time or high here, as well as your affinity. You can do this with any application in Windows. Just a little quick share on that. All the other stuff here is actually going to be default settings for me. If you need to run a stream delay to protect you from stream sniping or anything like that, this is also where you will set that up. As well as your automatically reconnect settings. If your internet tends to dip at times or you're on Wi-Fi for some reason, you can set this a little higher so that it has a chance to reconnect your stream instead of ending it, which can be very painful depending on which platform you're streaming on. As far as scene selections, notifications, that's all preference as well as appearance. I like the dark night theme. It helps just with my eyes and it looks better to me. Again, that's all just personal preference. They also have a new virtual webcam thing installed and some other overlays and apps and extra stuff, but those are my main settings that I'm running right now for Streamlabs OBS. Especially if you wanted to learn how to automatically record when we start streaming, I love that I found that option. It helps a lot, especially because you can easily forget to hit record when you go live. Hopefully these settings help you out. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Like, subscribe. I'm Draco Ray, and I'll see you next time.